Welcome to Motherhood and ADHD. I'm your friend, Patricia Sen. My mission is to be a lighthouse for mothers with ADHD, helping you find your path to success by learning to appreciate your ADHD as an asset. I'm seeking to change the paradigm that ADHD means your life is doomed to be a hot mess. So I'm sharing strategies and encouraging you in your pursuit of happiness to love who you are every day of your ADHD life. Hey there, successful mama. It's your friend Patricia. Mama, are you struggling right now? Can I just give you a big giant hug? This last couple months has been the worst. And I know for so many people, it is a daily struggle to just get out of bed. So I'm talking about some strategies to get out of the depression spiral. I know that I don't know everything that you're going through right now, and we are all dealing with this in different ways and different facets. But what I can share is that I have been through the depression struggle more than once. I have overcome it in some major ways. I would say probably 2 or 3 major times in my life. But I also can say that it is something that I proactively work towards, keeping my mental health well. Literally every day. It is an everyday thing. This is something I am never going to be free of. It's something that I'm never going to be just, I don't have to worry about that anymore. That's not how depression works. It is a physical, chemical imbalance. There is actual physical component to it. It's not just being sad and having a hard time. Knowing that this is something that I work for every day, I want to give you those tools that work for me in hopes that at least one of them will help you if you are dealing with this as well, or if you have someone important to you that is dealing with this as well, that you can have a little more understanding. Because wow, depression is an ugly beast that doesn't make sense, and that you're willing to keep pushing forward when it doesn't seem like it's making a difference. Mental health is a struggle, whether it's depression or, drug addiction or OCD, and there's hundreds of facets to it. And there is so much of that that's not in our control. And there's so much going on in the world that is not in our control. And I think we all can just together admit, wow, this sucks. And look at what can we do about it? Because right now it feels like there's a whole lot we can't do to make things better. So I want to give you hope that there are things that we can do that will slowly pull yourself out of that struggle. And I want to reach my hand out and say, here, grab on. We're going to do this together. I know that when you're in that depression quicksand, it just pulls you in and you want so badly to get better and you don't even know where to start. And the whole time I call it depressed brain. My depressed brain wants to argue with me and say that it's not going to work. And I know as I speak, if you're struggling with this, your depressed brain is going to say, Patricia really doesn't understand our situation. She doesn't get what we're going through. So that's not going to work. And I want to encourage you to not engage with your depressed brain. Don't argue with it. It's not logical. It's not going to be reasoned with. So I actively separate myself when I hear those thoughts in my brain of like, you know what? I hear you. I get that you feel that way, brain, but I'm going to do this anyways. That's the phrase I want you to think of. But I'm going to do this anyways. But I'm going to do this anyways. Even if your thoughts are telling you that it's not doable, that it's not working, that it's not going to fit you, there is a way that you can modify the idea that I'm giving you and make it work for your life. I promise. And maybe not all of them, because I'm going to give you lots of suggestions, but there is at least something on here that you can make work for you in your situation to start to crawl your way out of that hole. Because your brain's job is to protect you. It is going to look for evidence that supports whatever your thoughts are, because that is a protective feature. It's not going to look for evidence that you're wrong, because that is not keeping you safe. It's looking for evidence that it is right. So if you want to listen more on that, you can go back and listen to episode 38 because I talked all about your brain's job as like a survival tool. But know that your brain is not always working for what's best for you. It's working to keep you safe. So there's a good chance it's not going to like that we're trying to do something new. Don't argue with depressed brain. Don't engage. Just say, I know you feel that way, brain, but I'm going to do this anyway. So what are we going to do? First, I really want to encourage you to ask for help. I know this is an overwhelming first suggestion, but it is such a helpful one that I'm going to put it first anyway. Reach out to someone that you feel comfortable talking to and say you're struggling. Say that this is hard. If you feel like your depressed brain is telling you, Patricia doesn't know, nobody loves me, I'm just all alone and no one cares that much about me, I want you to look at depressed brain in the face and say, I know that you feel that way, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm pretty sure that depressed brain is the one telling you that nobody loves you. That is not true. I love you. I am sure that there is someone else in your life that feels the same way. And depressed brain is going to help you find evidence that that's not true. If there is no one in your life that you feel will listen and you feel comfortable talking to them, know that there are so many free support groups going on right now in these pandemic times, especially, that you can reach out on the internet. It could be somebody that you don't know personally, but somebody that will still be there with you. You don't have to physically meet them. You can do this all online. You can talk to professionals or other people who are dealing with similar things as you. There are so many ways to reach out and ask for help. To further that, I hope that you will eventually get to a professional who can help you work through these things systematically. They have the experience to guide you through steps that have worked for many, many other people, and they can work for you as well on how to change your thoughts. I love cognitive behavioral therapy and the way that you look at the thoughts entering your brain, that you don't have to give all of them the time of day. You do not have to give all of them value. You can just let them go and move on. I did a whole episode about that too, which I'm going to guess is probably around like 36 or 37, which I didn't look up because I wasn't planning on talking about it, but I'm mentioning it anyway. Find help. Now, a more immediate thing you can do is I want you to brain dump on a piece of paper. Write down anything you can think of that will make you feel better, more happy. It can be as simple as getting a bear hug from one of your kids. It could be going for a walk. It could be talking to a friend. It could be listening to music. Literally anything that you can possibly think of that will make you feel better. You want to do at least one of these things every day. I want you to have the goal in mind that you want to work to do like 3 to 5 of them a day. But for right now, we're doing baby steps, at least one a day. I want you to write it down what time you're going to do that today. What time are you going to do that tomorrow? Write it in your schedule for the whole week. Every day, one thing that's going to make you feel better. One of those things is connection. Who can you talk to? Can you call a friend or a relative, someone to not feel alone? The person I was talking to about this is struggling because they are by themselves during this pandemic and they feel very alone. So one of my suggestions was write down everyone you could possibly talk to. Connect with people that you haven't connected with. If you make one phone call every day to feel connected, then you'll slowly reprogram your brain to not feel as lonely. Yes, this is a lonely time. It is hard to be by yourself all the time, but also you can feel alone when you're in a room full of people. You can be depressed in a house full of people and be around people and noise and all that and still feel just as alone as if you're by yourself, because there is that chemical imbalance going on in your brain. So find a way to connect that's meaningful for you. Another thing that I do every day is I get up and I get ready and I get dressed. Not a day goes by that I will putz around in my PJs without brushing my teeth, because that is, for me, something that I did while I was depressed and struggling, and that is not good for my soul. So I want you to every day get up, wash your face, brush your teeth, put on something that's not pajamas, and having that routine of feeling like a real person in this weird time where we're not going out and about like we used to, that will make you feel more regular. That's a huge one for me. Like, I'm not saying pajama days aren't good for the soul sometimes, but It can't be pajama day 5 or 6 days out of the week or every day. That's not healthy for you. Humans were made to do things, not putz around aimlessly. So we've got to get up and get ourselves ready. Another thing I do every day is get outside, get some sunshine, whether that's just sitting on a chair and watching my kids play when I'm having a rough day. If you're not familiar, I have a chronic illness and there's some days where I just don't have any energy. Like, that's okay. I make it work for me. Again, if depressed brain is coming in and being like, Patricia just doesn't understand my life. We live in the Arctic Circle. There's no sunshine. That's not going to help me. I live in a shoebox apartment. I don't have any windows. Like, look at depressed brain in the face and say, I know that you feel that way, brain, but I'm going to do it anyway. Find a way to get outside, some fresh air, stick your head out the window, whatever it is that you can do to be outside and get some sunshine. If you need to buy one of those lights you put over your little hydroponic plants to grow them inside, like, figure it out, girl. You can figure this out. You can make it work. You can find a way to fit these tips into your life. Don't let depressed brain talk you out of it. Next one, come up with some kind of tiny accomplishment that you can do every day. It might be the getting up and get ready that I mentioned. There's been studies on people who make their bed every day that it's good for you because, like, when you go back at the end of the day, even if you've had a horrible day, you see your bed made, it's like, oh, I accomplished something. It's like this little mental, in your subconscious, you got something accomplished. Maybe it's leaving your kitchen sink clean, no dirty dishes laying around. So when you wake up in the morning, it's like, oh, at least this part of my kitchen is clean. Find something tiny like that you can do every day that you will see it. And that the next day or later that day, when you come back around to it, you will see that accomplishment. Again, these are baby steps. Those tiny little things don't seem like they're making an impact. But when you add all those little things together, they are making huge strides. My next go-to is always helping someone else. Even when we're stuck at home, we can find a way to help another person. Like I talked about earlier, those phone calls, you don't know if that person on the other end was struggling just as much as you were and feels loved because they got that connection unprompted. Maybe it's dropping off something for an elderly neighbor that's not getting out of their house. Like, maybe it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be hugely time consuming. It needs to be just something small where you can think about somebody else for a minute and not let your depressed brain drive the car all day long about how everything sucks. Like, it will do that. It will consume you and focus all on you. And this is a way to step out of it and say, I can do something for someone else who might be struggling. I don't know their story. I don't know what's going on with them, but they're going to feel that love. And then I'm going to feel accomplished. I'm going to feel good about myself because I did something productive that day, something useful. So it's for them and for you. I mean, obviously we don't do things for other people, for ourselves. I know, I'm just saying, clear that out of the air. This is a way to help your brain start to see the good in things. You're reprogramming it to overcome those physical hurdles that are going on that you maybe can't see, and doing something that you can physically see the difference in helping someone else. And the last one is thinking about, what are you doing for your physical and your spiritual health? I know this is generally talking about our mental health, but in taking care of those other two parts of your health, those are going to make a difference on the other parts of you. So are you drinking enough water? Are you making good food choices? Are you getting enough quality rest? Are you moving your body every day? Are you spending time in meditation or quiet time or prayer? Taking care of those parts of your physical and spiritual being will make so much difference in how you can take care of your mental health. For me, I know that my God did so much in my journey to come out of depression. I can look now, come like on the other side and see where his hand was in the different situations and putting the right people in my path, and how he pursued me fervently to bring me back and see him again when I couldn't see him because of the struggle I was in. So if you are in that spot where you can only see the negative, you can only feel the struggle, know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You are able to get past this phase, this struggle, these obstacles that you're dealing with right now. It is possible. You can do it. And it's all about taking little steps every day to change your thoughts in your brain. And I want to encourage you with a giant hug and say, I get it. I've been there. It is ugly. And I know that you have the inner strength to pull through that and be on the other side like I am, and turn around and reach to the next person and put out your hand and say, I've been there and I've overcome it and I am here for you. Because connection is what we do have. Love is what we do have right now. And I know that together we will get through the roughness that is 2020, and we will come out on the other side more beautiful people, people who have grown, people who have loved, people who have helped. I have faith in that beauty that is waiting for us on the other side. So, Successful Mama, have a wonderful week. Please share this with a friend who is struggling right now. Please reach out to the people in your life and ask, how are they doing? Hopefully you can share some of these ideas with them so that we can all be a little bit healthier. We will talk soon, Successful Mama. Thank you for listening to Motherhood in ADHD. For more resources, head over to our website, www.motherhoodinadhd.com.